Hey 7th grade, this is the video for Unit 6, Lesson 10, where we'll be able to solve contextual problems with markups and markdowns. So let's check out the think about it. It says Home Depot buys a portable heater from a manufacturer for $80. Home Depot applies a markup of 50% to sell the heater at their store. Use a double number line to represent the problem and write and solve an equation to determine how much you would pay for the heater if you bought it at Home Depot. Okay, so first things first, let's draw our double number line. We're dealing with 2 units. Of course, we're dealing with percents. And today, we're dealing with money. I'm going to draw my $0, $0, and 0%. Great. So again, we're working with percents, so we're going to label 100% right away. But I see that in the problem, we're dealing with a markup, and we know from previous lessons that a markup is an increase. So what I'm also going to do is I'm going to make sure that I have room for an increase. So I'll put 100% in the middle. And then it says, yes, a 50% increase, so let's label that too. 100% increased by 50% leaves us with 150%. Now, 150% represents our markup price. Do we have our markup price? No, that's what we're solving for. So that's our X. And then we know that Home Depot buys it for $80, which would be right here. I'll put my $sign here too. So now we have our double number line labeled. What I want to do is I want to write an equation to determine how much we would pay for the heater if we bought it at Home Depot. So using this double number line, we can definitely write an equation. But let's think about what we did yesterday or in the previous lesson. In the previous lesson, we were given a formula. Can we use that formula here? I know that the formula had to do with our whole, our quantity, and our percent as a decimal. So what's the percent as a decimal that we're working with? 1.5. This is the percent that we're working with. Because we want to find out its equivalent down here. This would be the quantity that we're solving for. And lastly, our whole, what our quantity is based off of, is 80. This would be our whole. So now let's write out the formula that we're going to use. We're going to use quantity equals our percent as a decimal times our whole. And then we can simply substitute. Here we go. We have X is going to be equal to 1.5 times 80, and then what that boils down to is 120. So we would pay $120 for this heater if we got it from Home Depot. Great. So this is really what the key point is all about. We really want to know what a markup and a markdown are doing. What does a markup do to a price? It increases it. What does a markdown do to a price? It decreases it. A markup and a markdown represent a percent change. And what do we do with a percent change? What did we do with this 50%? Did we straight up multiply it times something? did we do? We had to add the 50% to our whole, or our 100. So this actually represents a percent change. And we're going to write that down in our key point. Markups and markdowns represent a percent change. And again, a percent change, if it's a markup, you need to add it to 100%. If it's a markdown, you need to subtract it from 100%. So now, since we have the key point, let's take a look at our interaction with new material. It says, Best Buy purchases their TVs straight from the companies that produce them. An example, they purchase them from Sony, LG, Panasonic, any other company you can think of. Best Buy has a standard markup of 125% on all televisions that they sell in the store. During a holiday sale, they have 40% off sale on all their TVs. If the sale is applied after the 125% markup, what is the price during the holiday sale that originally cost Best Buy $500? So there's a lot of information here. So we're going to go through it, we're going to annotate it, and then we're going to do what we got to do. It says that Best Buy has a standard markup of 125%. So that means we're increasing. We're increasing the price. Then it says during the holiday they have a 40% off sale. Now the key word here is off. If it's coming off, it's decreasing that price. It also says that if the sale is applied after the 125% markup, what is the price? So it's after this markup is given to our original cost. There's a lot of information here again. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw a double number line and we're going to make a plan. We're going to do all these things. You know what? Let's actually make our plan first. So our first plan, our first step in the plan is what do we have to do? What do we first have to do? It says that we need to mark up the price by 125%. And what do we do with that percent change, that markup? We have to add it to what? If we don't remember, we can always think about it. It looks like we had to add our 50% to 100%. So again, I'm going to take that markup percentage and I'm going to add it to 100%. So we're going to mark up the price by 125%. Then the second thing we have to do is, after we mark up the price, what is the question asking for? It's asking for us to take off 40%. So then we need to apply the 40% discount. And that'll get us our sale price. So in order to do this, I'm going to draw a double number line. Like so. And we have percents, and we have money again. I have my money, I have my percents. And we all know I'm going to mark 100% right here. Now, the markup percentage is 125%. again. So I'm going to add 125% to this, which is going to give me 225%. Now, do we know the markup price? No. Do we know the price that we paid for it? I see it right here. So yeah, we have $500. So using this number line, we can definitely figure out what the markup price is. We can use that same formula that we used yesterday, and in the think about it today, we use quantity, that is terrible, Q, my apologies, equals the percent in decimal form times our whole. Again, our whole is always equivalent to 100%. This is our quantity, and this is our percent. So quantity we're solving for, that would be x, equals our percent as a decimal, which is 2.25 times 500. And I know when I multiply those two, I'm going to get 1,125, I believe. Let me just check my math. It is 1,125. Great. So now that we have this is our what price? This is our markup price. This was number 1. And number 2, we need to apply the 40% discount. Now again, it's a discount, right? That means it's like a markdown. It means it's a percent change. What did we do with this 125%? We added it to 100. So now with this 40%, I need to subtract it from 100. Okay? So 40, I know 100% minus 40% is 60%. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to use that as my percentage in this. To write down my formula. And this time we're solving for our new quantity. This is going to be our markdown. And we're trying to find out what 60% is of our markup. So now when I plug this into my calculator, I get $675. And that is our sale price. All solved by using markups and markdowns as a percent change. So lastly, let's go through our criteria for success to make sure that we do it right and successfully every single time. CFS. Number 1. The problem is annotated for quantity, whole, and percent change. So annotate for quantity, whole, and percent. I'm going to put a triangle for change. This triangle represents change, or delta. Number 2, our double number line, I'm going to write DNL, double number line is drawn. Number 3, our percent change is calculated. So that means like when you are marking down, for example, you're writing this 100% minus 40. We're marking down by 40. Or up here, you're adding that 125%. And number 4, our percent equation is written and solved using substitution. And there you have it.